So, in science and lots of fields, people collect large amounts of data. Especially, today we have sensors and ways of collecting huge sets of data with hundreds, thousands, millions of data points. And so what we do with that data starts to become a challenge, because obviously you can't look at just a spreadsheet of hundreds of thousands of data points and really make sense of it. And so data analysis is a really important part of understanding the results of research. And so statistics are a way we have of helping us to make sense of a set of data. Data analysis is a huge field, especially an up and coming field. Data science and computer science related to analyzing data is a really popular field nowadays, and will just become more and more popular. And so we have sort of a couple categories of statistics that we're going to talk about. Descriptive statistics. In the packet I gave you today, guides you through several types of descriptive statistics. These are statistics that sort of summarize your data set for you, give you some information about it. And so some of those are measures of average. Describes you where your data, where's the center of your data. As we said, when I gave you those two data sets in our question of the day, even though they have different numbers of data points, they had the same mean and the same mode. Right, so these statistics are things that you're familiar with, mean, median, mode. They tell you sort of where the center of the data set lies. They're also measures of how variable the data is. How spread out the data points are. If I gave you an additional data set C, what would its mean be? 5, and its mode, and its median. But, so the measures of central tendency for these three data sets would be the same. Right? The mean and the mode for these are the mean and the median would be the same. But obviously there's quite a difference in how spread out the data is. This data set I just added is all very tightly clustered. And that tells you information about the population or whatever it is you're studying. So some of the statistics we use in terms of variability, the range, standard deviation, variance, all of these tell you about how variable the data is. Which of these data sets would have the greatest range and standard deviation and variance? A, B, or C? Yeah, B. It's sort of clear when you look at it. If you have a huge data set, it's not always clear. And we also then have measures of confidence. These measures of confidence tell us, out of our sample of data, so we typically don't have a measurement for every, if we're studying a group of students, we don't take every single student in our school and measure their height to try to find the average height of a student. We take a sample, a subset of them, and we assume that the sample we took is representative of the entire population. Could be. Did you guys do all of these things in algebra? Okay, yeah, so probably. Standard error, 95% confidence intervals. These are measurements that tell us, okay, well, what is this, does this mean can we be 95% confident that the actual mean of the population is in this range? We also then have another category called inferential statistics that we often use to test a hypothesis. And the chi-square test that we were doing with our slugs, that was an example. A t-test is one we're going to be doing today. A t-test is used to determine if the mean of two different samples is significant. For example, if I were to measure the mass of slugs that were fed lettuce versus a group of slugs that were fed hosta, then measure their change in mass over a week, I would end up with the mean change in mass of each of those groups of slugs. And they probably wouldn't be the same, but I get to the question, well, is that difference in the change in their mass significant, statistically significant? And a t-test is one test that can help us to determine that. Is this a significant difference between them? The chi-square test we've already done. It helps us determine if frequencies that we observe match what we expect. Does the amount of each food consumed by the slug meet what we'd expect if it were just random, or does it not? You could also look at test of a regression analysis that tells us how two sets of data
Oh, we definitely do regression in algebra.
they do R squared and yeah. So if you look at these three data sets, obviously which data are most closely correlated? Which graph?
One.
Yeah, one. Yeah, its variable increases, it's pretty clear that the y variable increases. And we can do calculations that tell us how closely they correlate. So these are some statistics we can use. In college, you might take a class in statistics. When I was in college, I did biostatistics. It was statistics applied specifically to biology. Another really important field that's, again, sort of becoming more and more popular is data visualization, of taking a set of data and representing it visually in some way. And we're familiar with things like graphs, line graphs, or bar graphs, histograms, scatter plots. But there are lots of ways we can depict our data visually. If you heard of infographics, you have some graphic where the components represent different factors and the size of those components might indicate something. It can get very advanced. Okay, so we have histograms, line graphs, scatter plots. What are these called? Anyone remember what those are? Did you learn about these? Box and whiskers? Is that what they call them? Is that what you guys call them in math? Okay. So you're familiar with many of these concepts. And so today and tomorrow, we're going to be using some of them.